Hello everyone. As you can see, this is the Harbor Freight pipe bender. They have a 12-ton model and this one. I believe this is a 6-ton. What I've done is I've mounted mine on a stand and I have the dies attached to it. As you can see, it comes with 6 dies ranging from a 1/2 inch to 2 inch. Oops. And before you start doing any pipe bending, I think one of the most important things you're going to need is a pipe fitter's and pipe welder's handbook. Let's see if I can get that in focus. By Thomas Franklin. Somewhere in there it is. Right there. You can get it at Amazon.com. Used for like $13 and brand new for $25. And what I usually have used so far is just, I've only used the 1¼ die. I've made a roll bar for my son-in-law's golf cart. And I use pipe. Pipe weighs about, this 1¼ pipe weighs 2.72 pounds per linear foot. And I also have some 1.5 tube that weighs like 1.7 pounds per linear foot. I guess that's why people choose tubing over pipe for roll bars. And in this pipe fitters and pipe welders handbook, it lists the standard pipe data. This is schedule 40 pipe that I'm using. So 1¼ pipe has an inside diameter of 1.380, has an outside diameter of 1.660. So you can see 1¼ pipe is larger than 1.5 tube. Now let me see if I can show you the visual difference. This is an 1.5 tube. This is actually 14 gauge tube. This is 1.25 pipe, schedule 40. And by schedule, what we're talking about is the wall thickness here. I believe the wall thickness here is 140 thousandths, schedule 40. So if you increase to a larger schedule pipe from 40 to 80, the wall thickness increases towards the center of the pipe. It doesn't, the thickness doesn't go out, it goes in towards the center. And as you can see, the 1.25 pipe is actually larger than 1.5 tube. And I've already bent a lot of 1.25 pipe. And here's a 45. And as you can see, it's not flat on the outside of the bend. And it's not, it has a little bit of something there, but it's not wrinkled bad. So that's a 45 on the pipe. Now I'm going to put a piece of tubing in the pipe bender to show you what it'll do to tubing. And you'll see why you need to use pipe. Now, like I mentioned, what I have here is 6 dies, and there's 6 sets of holes that you use on the pipe bender. Starting the inner 2 holes are for 1/2 inch pipe, then 3/4, then 1 inch, up to 2 inch. I was using, since I normally use 1.25 pipe, that's what I have it set on now. The 1.5 tube I'm going to put in there, I'm going to move the dies in to 1 inch. But I have to use the 1.25 die to fit the tube in, because it won't, the 1.5 die is way too large for the 1.5 tube, and I'll show it to you. See the slop in there? It's just going to smash the tube from side to side when you try to bend it. So, like I said, 1.5 die does not work on 1.5 tube. 1.25 die won't work either. But I'm going to go ahead and destroy this, just for the sake of showing you what it'll do to tube. Get it locked in here. I got a short piece in there. Before you start bending, when you're bending pipe, you should make sure you're level here. And you'll need an angle finder. If you're going to put a 45 in your pipe, place this on either end, or even both if you choose. And so if you're bending a 45, when you get to 22.5 degrees on one side, that'll be your 45. You may have to go a few degrees over because there'll be some spring back. This just is a demo on tube. I probably want to get a 45 in this tube before it destroys it. Oh, I was going to move that in. It really doesn't matter. Okay, it's already deforming the tube. So let me get it a little closer so you can see it. And what it's doing here is flattening out the outside of the bend. And since the die is too large for the tube, the sides are expanding and filling in the tube. So it's already a failure. So I'll go ahead and let it out. Take a look at it. I've seen a lot of people bending tube, and they filled it with sand, or they heat it up, or they modified their pipe bender to become a tube bender. I guess all that's fine, except for the sand. I think that's a little bit, it's a lot of work. You do sell tube benders. Now you can see I didn't have a 45 in this yet, and it's flat here, and you can see the wrinkle right there and how bad that is. So that's destroyed. That's why the pipe bender is for pipe. What I've done so far is I made a roll bar about halfway through, I guess, out of pipe. It's a little heavier, of course, than tube, but I'm not really concerned about the weight. The golf cart has plenty of power, and my son-in-law and daughter will be driving my grandchildren around it, so if it's heavy, I'm not really too concerned with it. I'm going to change a few things on it, like right here. See how it angles back from this point here, from right in here. It angles in, and it cuts through the battery box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it back out, bring it straight, and put a 90-degree, a short radius 90-degree elbow on it here, and bring it over, and then 90 it up, roll it, and 90 it up here. And what I have here, why I did it this way, is it comes through the body of the golf cart. And so I made this here so I can disconnect it and take the body off. I made some fittings on my lathe, and you just take this off, and then you can remove the body, so if there's any maintenance you need to do. And as you can see, it's still covered in rust, but I'm working on it. I finished the rear bumper, except for the end caps, and a front bumper for it. So it's still under construction. You can see it's pretty beat up. I think it's a 1980 Yamaha G1. See if there's anything else I can go over. I have these reference marks on here. This is a 45, and that's a 90, just for reference when I'm bending, because a lot of times I'll put the angle finder on the pipe, and it'll fall off several times before I get to where I even need to be. So I usually put it on at the last minute. And like I said, I've got it marked here. The innermost holes are for 1/2 inch, then 3/4, 1 inch, and 1 1/4, up to 2 inch. Because common sense will tell you, if you're bending 2-inch pipe, you're probably not going to put the pins here. You'll probably end up giving yourself a hernia. Let's see, I think that covers it. Yep, I believe that covers it. Thank you for watching.